Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. Yes, there's something wrong with WALZ, and it costs taxpayers $1 billion. This is an article from the White House, a press release from the White House, and according to Fox Minneapolis, Fox 9, Minnesota Governor Walz responds to potential $9 billion in fraud. This is bizarre. Walz spent $430,000 for legal counsel for one congressional hearing. If I'm reading the article correctly from Minnesota Public Radio, that is very odd. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. We're growing on H.A. Goodman's other channel. And go to my live streams morning, noon, and evening. We did 2 today. We usually do 3. Tomorrow, Monday, we will do 1 at 11 a.m. Eastern, so be there. Check this out.
Secretary for Family Support at the Health and Human Services Department, and he joins me today. And Alex, thank you so much for being here today. Can you tell us sort of what the next step is? There's been criticisms for what's happening, but where do you see this moving forward to?
Well, Ben, I'd say Happy New Year, but Governor Walz sure dropped the ball early on this. As you guys noted, this is one of the largest frauds in American history and probably the largest theft of public welfare dollars. And one of the programs that's implicated is child care funds that my agency sends out. And this doesn't just impact Minnesota. This impacts all American taxpayers because we send $185 million a year out to Minnesota, and we deserve accountability for the use of those dollars. So, as you noted, we've taken 3 concrete actions to nip this in the bud. First, we have turned off the spigot. We've turned on the Defend the Spend system for child care funds, and we'll make sure reimbursement is based on justifiable expenses. Second, we have asked for a specific audit of the facilities in Minnesota that have been implicated. We've asked for attendance records, inspection records, licensing records, complaint histories, and things like that that will help us get to the bottom of this. And then third, on the website we run, childcare.gov, we have put up a hotline for anyone with information on fraud, waste, or abuse for them to be able to submit that to us directly. Since that went live earlier this week, we already have more than 200 tips in queue.
We've also heard.
So there are 200 new complaints, 200 tips pertaining to potential criminality or, completely inept behavior by Walz, the governor, and others. It's pretty much impossible to allow $8 to $9 billion in fraud because you're simply inept. There's almost certain complicity to it in some manner, likely felonies and criminal complicity. But anyway, let's continue.
Had some criticisms, I've got to say. While stopping fraud is one thing, here's something that the Minnesota teachers and lawmakers said. They were sounding alarm over it. Listen to this.
Fraud prevention is about policy and not politics. It's about solutions and not spectacle. But everything that we've seen from the federal government this week is about politics.
If we allow this funding freeze to happen, all Minnesotans are going to suffer. We cannot succumb to hate and fear-mongering.
So I suppose it's interesting, how do you find the balance between stopping the fraud but also not taking away from people who are not?
Well, the policies didn't work. There's $8 billion in fraud, and the funding freeze is taking place because of the governor and Democrats being either inept or criminally complicit or, engaged in potential crimes. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. 200 new tips on that hotline. Hit subscribe. Thanks so much. Go to H.A. Goodman for the live stream.